it, baby.
So take me through your approach in creating videos. So like, and I guess what I mean by that is you put out a lot of like really crazy stuff, and how does it go from like crazy idea in your head?
Well, I'll give them a simplified one
Perfect.
first before we go into how I do it, because I've been doing it for a while. So so very simple. Great exercise to tell everybody to do. Blank piece of paper. Draw out a giant capitalized T. Left side, right problem. Right side, right solution. Think of your ideal customer, the person who's most likely to buy. Say, what are the top 10 problems that they're facing? Write them down on the left, 10 different ways to solve them on the right. Then create short 2 to 5 minute how-to videos at the end of those. And then at the end of it, say, if you found this helpful and you'd also like me to do blank, then give me a call, give me your information, and that's the whole fucking formula.
Simple.
We're done. Mm-hmm. That's it. Fuck your excuses. That was it. There's nothing to do.
So if it's that simple, and I agree, it can definitely be that simple, what would you recommend for like the upfront? Because I know you're big on like hooks and pattern interrupt right out the gate. What kind of tips do you have kind of centered around how to grab someone's attention right out the gate?
It really goes to, understanding like what your audience's number one desire is, and then asking them, that question. So for example, let's like if we want them to watch this interview right now, right? So I think backwards. So I say, okay, well, in this interview, what did we cover today? Okay, well, we went over different ways to, to get customers, how to stand out in the marketplace, what their company structure is going to look like. So I'm thinking of all this data. Okay, cool, good. And then I say, all right, what do they really, like that's the deep stuff, but surface level at a glance, what do they want? They just want to fucking sell more houses to make more money. So I say, okay, well, if they want to sell more houses and make more money, what's the thing that they hate? Video. Okay, got it. So then I take those things in my head, and now I say, all right, now how do I rephrase that to a question to get their attention? Then, I look at the camera and I start playing around. If you're a real estate agent that wants to know how to get more customers with social media without spending a fortune, without being a master at video with high production and spending all this crazy money, then stay tuned, because in here I'm going to show you my top 3 ways under $20 to get more customers using simple ads like this. Check it out.
Damn.
Backwards.
Mic drop.
You know what I mean? So it's that whole process of like, okay, what do they want? What do they want to avoid? And it's a classic headline formula of like how to get blank without feeling blank, So.
And you're addressing that right out the gate.
That's it. And now you give them a reason to watch.
So you plant the seed, and then you give them the answer at the end of the video.
Yeah. Or throughout. Right? You give them more answers. Like, okay, here's one, but you're also going to need to do this. So, like, the proper way to do the interview, right? Like, it would be me seeding. And so, hey, like, right now I'll show you guys how to get their attention on the hook, like that example I just did. That's great, but honestly, what matters even more than that is your call to action at the end of the video, and I'll get to that in a second. But what were you saying? Now, oh, shit. Oh, he's going to tell me how to get to the hook. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you weave these in between the whole thing, and this is how you get people to watch longer, is you keep doing that. So now it's like, okay, so I get to call to action. Now I'm like, okay, when you get to the call to action, make sure that you actually look directly at the camera and tell them, because when you're running YouTube ads, people aren't used, like it's called breaking down the fourth wall, where you talk here, like I'm acknowledging you right now in the interview, even though you're watching the interview. I'm not treating you like you're just like, I'm treating you like a person. But what you'll realize is once you get people to actually click your advertisement, how do you collect their data? Like, how do you actually get their name, email, and phone number? Like, what tech do you even need to do that? Like, what's the best way to do that? Anyways, I'll get there in a second. But like, and you just keep moving them down until you take them to wherever you want.
So you're reverse engineering pain points.
Yeah, and like
pre-framing answers.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a bridge, right? So like, hey, here's the steps I know you need to take to get what you want. So I give you like one step on the bridge each time, and I'll take you so far on the bridge, and then I say, well, hey, if this was a lot to remember, and any of you just want me to give you my exact, like my 10 best performing real estate ads so you guys can just copy and duplicate, well, click here and buy them for $13.
Do that now.
And the first 10 people that get it, I'm also going to personally call you on the phone and say, what's up?
And on your calls to action, you're putting them in multiple times throughout the video?
Usually at the end, and then I just keep saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that office one you guys did where you just kept coming back in, then you'd walk out and come back in again. Yeah. Awesome. When did you know that this was like a thing for you? Like, what was the ad that like you were like, oh shit, like I'm really onto something here?
When I was at my parents' house and I spent $600 on an ad on accident, and I got 25 appointments of people who wanted to talk about marketing, and I made $10,000 the next day. The money dictates. That's the fun thing about ads. Your opinion doesn't matter, neither does mine.
Yeah.
It worked or it didn't. And working means it was profitable or it wasn't.
ROI or not.
There's no gray, you know, it worked or it didn't. What was the objective? Did it do that? Okay.
And then off that next one, you just started duplicating them, or what happened?
Well, once it works, you know it works, and you just do it more, and you find different ways to do it. But it's funny because my formula hasn't changed since identifying that. My shit is still now just a video and asking you stuff, you know.
So here's a question that actually Sam had, my business partner. You know Sam.
Yeah, shout out to Sam.
Is there a point with these like really bold and loud ads where it becomes like too much, or you've gotten backlash, or it's...
Oh, yeah. Well, watch this. Is there a point? I think it's the opposite. I think I'm seeing the reverse flow. It was like, who's this guy showing up on my line stuff, da-da-da. And as there's less trust in the marketplace, it's who the fuck is he, da-da-da, backlash. You know, you get these people, is it a scam, da-da-da. Now it's like, shit, he's there for 5 years, and now you see the other like, so me and Mark Lack talk about this, but like kind of like the badges of what you need to be like official in somebody's eyes or to build trust. And there's a couple. Number one is like your associations, who they see people hanging out with. Number two is stages. Number three is like publications and the things that you show up on. And then four would be like frequency of how often that you see them. So frequency, I'm tuning in, everybody's kind of seeing me. But now think about the way I'm showing up. Now you saw me with, you know, Damon John on stage at Traffic and Conversion Summit at my Let's podcast. That's my associations. Yep. Then you're like, oh shit, I Google them, and you see articles like Forbes and these things, and you see these things. So naturally, you're just like, oh fuck, okay, I guess he's legit.
Is this guy?
I guess he's legit. That's what your brain does.
Yeah.
All right, I guess he's legit.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him. He's legit. So I think it's opposite. As we've gone more, now it's like, you know, that point of like, deny me or not, bitch, I got so much shit out there. Like it's rough. And then here's the best part. The other part, reviews. We got so many damn reviews. We got so many case studies. We have tens of thousands of students. I laugh now. It's just funny to me when someone tries to deny it. You can say what you want, but
just look
facts,
me up.
fucking facts are facts, man. We got our shit is dialed in. Talk to people who've done our shit, you know.
So all the badges and then the social proof and just bringing it kind of full circle.
Mm-hmm.
What about like, are there any brands that you think shouldn't do? I mean, like Oompa Loompa ads and Mario Kart and Ron Burgundy.
We do
and
some
all
weird
that,
shit,
you know,
yeah.
like, are there any brands that wouldn't want to do stuff like that?
That's a great question. I think everyone, your ad should be your personality. Like we do the weird shit like doing blues because that's me.
Right.
I'm weird. My team is weird. We're like,
you know, over the top.
You know what I mean? Like it's like the vibe that we choose. But like, you know, there's plenty of companies out there that don't have that, can still have like, you know, great ads. So for example, like, you know, Proactive, like, you know what I mean? Like fucking Proactive is great. Their ads are nothing like like ours, you know, but they're nonetheless doing video advertisements.
Or just like even just Googling like best commercials, funniest commercials.
Yeah.
And looking at like Doritos, Pepsi, Budweiser. Like
Budweiser has fucking frogs talking. Affleck and watch this. People, insurance. Insurance is not sexy until Flo came on and made it fun and quirky.
Right.
You know, insurance isn't fun.
Caveman could do it so easy.
Fucking caveman can do it. And then it was, what happens is you saw competition be dictated there. Because now everybody needed a thing. And then Allstate came out and said, are you in good hands? And took the president of 24, the TV show. You know, creativity forces the whole market to shift.